Good morning VC, George back with another finds video. Records have picked up in the last week or two, week and a half. Yeah, let's crack on. It's quite a nice day here. Every day is different here. It's like tropics one day and then it's like the Arctic the next, so you never know. So hopefully I'll get out for a little swing, maybe a little showery. Clouds come and go. Anyway, this is first record. I got this from eBay Discogs, Japan. It's quite a hard one to find, and it's ever since I started collecting jazz 3 or 4 years ago. It's an album that always intrigued me, and this is McCoy Tyner Extensions. It's on Blue Note. First recorded in 1972. This is 1978 press. Usual Blue Note label, Japanese, no obi. So in the 70s, jazz music was changing quite a lot, and some went to funk, some went to soul, some went to fusion, and some went to the more spiritual side of music. And McCoy Tyner was one of them, out of the school of John Coltrane. This is obviously a picture from the National Geographic magazine. And as you heard in the intro, we've got the Alice Coltrane on harp, Wayne Shorter on tenor, Gary Bartz on alto sax, Ron Carter on bass, and Elvin Jones on drums. Fantastic album, love it. McCoy Tyner Extensions. Spiritual, obviously delving into the African and Asian sounds. A lot of these guys started moving. It's a goodie. Another goodie on Blue Note is Dialogue by Bobby Hutcherson. Again, another fantastic lineup on this. 4198. We've got Freddie Hubbard trumpet, Sam Rivers on tenor sax, soprano sax, bass clarinet and flutes, Bobby Hutcherson on vibes and marimba, the great Andrew Hill on piano, Richard Davis bass, and Joe Chambers drums. So we've got 3 Andrew Hill songs here and 2 by Joe Chambers, the drummer. Absolutely brilliant LP. I think this is probably around about 1965. Again, not an easy album to come across really. This is a French copy from 2005. Sounds good. Obviously from a digital source. It's clean, sounds good. A little warp, but hey ho. Bobby Hutcherson. So I took a little walk last Saturday, or drive into the centre of Edinburgh, which is about 30 or 40 miles away. I was a wee bit bored and was hoping to meet my boy for a coffee and or my brother, and I ended up, both of them were busy. My brother works in Norway, so anyway, so I don't know if it's like probably other places in Edinburgh, there was like 2 long established record shops died a death, maybe the beginning of the pandemic, closed up, which was a real bummer. But there's 3 or 4, at least, maybe even 5 new little record shops, wee boutique record shops. One of them was Partial Coffee Shop. So I went in and had a look at 2 or 3 of them. And so, yeah, so the first one I went to was in Leith, where I used to live. A little shop, and they're digging up the whole of Leith now. They're extending the tram system. So I tried to find a shop about 6 months ago, and with the roadworks and whatever, I just drove on, couldn't get parked. Anyway, I found it this time, lovely young couple, and had loads of tone poets and classic stuff like that. But anyway, I picked up this one, Sonny Stitt, Lone Wolf, The Roost Alternates. So this is a compilation, Sonny Stitt compilation from 52, 55 and 57, so you've got different musicians on it. It's a Royal Roost label. And this is a re-release from 2019 and it's done by Run Out Groove, which I don't have any of their releases. So this is number 686. £28 it cost me, really well put together. You can see the good standard jacket. Lovely album. Sonny Stitt's quite early 50s, mid 50s, is quite laid back jazz. Hard bop, but yeah, cool album to put on. And a fantastic cover. Sonny Stitt, Lone Wolf. Nice comp. So the next record shop I went to was the other side of town where my boy stays, and his phone was switched off, so never seen him or got a coffee. So there's a new record shop and I just went to their jazz section. I had maybe 3 bins of jazz records and they were all £5, so no new jazz, and I guess it's all stuff you want to find when you go on a bit of a wee look. So £5. It's one of them you want to I'm not needing more records and whatever, but you just can't go into a record shop and go into town and not buy anything. Anyway, I bought two at £5 in this Philly Joe Jones Trailways Express. Now this was recorded in 1968 in London. It's an old library record. Newington Library. I used to work in there, well, sometimes as a young apprentice. And it's on the Black Lion label. I think that's, I'm assuming that's an English label. I've heard of it. Where does this go in again? Oh, there we go. So I think it's like a lot of these American artists, when they came across to Europe, they would sometimes pick up local musicians to do a tour with. Happened quite a lot. So obviously Philly Joe Jones on drums, 40 bits here. Kenny Wheeler, who's famous trumpet flugelhorn player, I'm sure a lot of people know. And a lot of other guys I don't know, and I'm assuming they're English, British musicians. Not go through them because I don't know them. But yeah, really good album. I think this was released maybe 1972, although it was recorded in 68. Some fantastic drumming by Philly Joe Jones. Yeah, so real pleased. I think this is maybe the first Philly Joe Jones LP I've got, so that was nice to pick up. And the other one I picked up was Ayler. And this is like an Italian release, and it's like got a book in it. It's like got a magazine, and I think that's what it was. It's like an Italian releases, and they released different albums in the series. And I think initially it was released in Europe, and then later got more America and whatever later on. So this was. I think this is maybe originally released in the 60s. It was recorded in 60s, 65 or so. But it ended up having different titles. I don't even know what the title of this is. But it's got 2 or 3 different covers in later releases, and Ghosts, I think it was its original release, it was called Ghosts. That's it. And Vibrations was a later name for the album when it was repackaged and re-released. Sounds great though. Clean, Nobody plays Ayler albums, do they? But great sounding from the early 60s, 64, 65 I think. Not sure who the players are on it, but yeah, glad to have that. And next one off is a 12-inch single, and this is Lady Blackbird. And it's just I think more just a promotional release here to play in the clubs. I thought I'd get it, and hopefully it's worth a couple of pounds later on. I don't lose on it. Sometimes these records become quite rare, don't they? And I don't know if this one or not. It's just the same track, a track from her album. Lost and Looking, that's what it's called. Lost and Looking. Just two different dub mixes for the clubs, really. But I would look out our main album, Lady Blackbird. Absolutely fantastic jazz soul singer. And the other new album I got, which is playing in the background, is the latest Tone Poet by Freddie Hubbard, Breaking Point. Absolutely brilliant. 4172, we've got Freddie Hubbard, James Spalding on sax, Ronnie Matthews on keys, Joe Chambers on drums, and Eddie Can on bass. Absolute classic album. 4 Freddie Hubbard tracks and 1 penned by Joe Chambers. Well worth picking up, for sure. Freddie Hubbard. And the next 3 are EB Finds, and I bought that John Coltrane Africa Brass a month ago or so, and I bought these 3 records from the same dealer, which I didn't know it was the same guy. Was it Graham? Guy called Graham? Anyway, I bought them off him, and he texted me, he's seen me on Facebook and subbed me. But anyway, I picked up these 3 records. He recognised my name on eBay when I was set. He was posting this next lot to me. So it's three Eric Dolphy albums. The 3 of them are double LPs. And this is called Fire Waltz. It's on the Prestige label. I think this is a reissue in '78. It's not really a double LP, it's 2 single LPs put together, and they're not even by Eric Dolphy. So the first album is really by Ken McIntyre, who's the leader of the session. It's got Walter Bishop, Sam Jones and Art Taylor. It was recorded in 1960, and it was called Looking Ahead, I think. So that's in there. Ken McIntyre. And the second album is by Mal Waldron. Everybody knows Mal Waldron was the leader, and that album was called The Quest. And that was released in 1961. And we have Dolphy on clarinet, Booker Irvin on tenor sax, Max Waldron piano, Ron Carter cello and Joe Benjamin bass, and Charlie Persip on drums. So Eric Dolphy was basically just a guest on these 2 albums, but for, you know what they've done? They've done that a lot with Coltrane. He guested on albums, and they ended up putting his name on the jacket, certainly for reissues, and they've done the same here. So happy to pick up this. It's in really good quality condition. I'm really loving Eric Dolphy, and obviously it's quite an early recordings of his. I think he died in '64, so fine album. Another album was Eric Dolphy live in Berlin concert. And we've got Eric Dolphy, Benny Bailey, Pepsi Orr, George Joyner and Buster Smith. Not much to see, and this was recorded in 1961. 61 in Berlin on the Enya label, which might be a German label, I'm not quite sure. This is obviously a German issue of the album, 61, so this was September 61, August 61. Real cool, and I'm glad to pick that up. And the third album was Eric Dolphy live in Copenhagen, so it's from the same tour. This was recorded the month before the previous album, and it's on Prestige. The original inner there, green Prestige label. Yeah, recorded the month before, so he was on a European tour at the time, obviously. Here we've got Chuck Azelis is on this, Ben Axen, Eric Mosholm and John Elniff, sorry, obviously Danish jazz musicians. Now originally this was released as in volumes, so record 1 was volume 1 and record 2 was volume 3. Eric Dolphy live in Copenhagen. So I'm obviously going to have to pick up volume 2. Yeah, they were released as Europe volume 1 and Europe volume 3. Don't know where number 2 is. Eric Dolphy, but really glad to get it. A wee wash, they're very good quality, plus. Nice to pick up these. And this was released in 1973, Eric Dolphy. Okay guys, that's it for this week. I'll see you with a bunch next week. Bye then.